Darren Leslie here with the first episode of the Darren Leslie podcast. Now, if you know anything about me, I'm a YouTuber. I've been reviewing movies for the past, let's say, 9 months on YouTube. I started about three years ago doing the review game, but I kind of dropped out of it a little bit. But now I've kind of been back in full-fledged, reviewing movies. I also contribute articles to Majored Minor, and I also contribute articles more frequently to Cinema Squad, a new website we launched about 2 months ago. I also do a podcast for them over on our YouTube channel over there, Cinema Squad, but this podcast is pretty much, I thought about doing this podcast because there's a lot of, I don't do this full time. This is a part-time thing. This is a little bit of a hobby for me as well. Doing YouTube videos and reviews. I wish I could do this full time, but can't. But I do this on the side really, and I'm also an aspiring filmmaker. I'm a screenwriter. I've directed before. I'm actually launching a website pretty soon where you guys can view all of my work. I'm still getting all that together. I moved to Atlanta. Just give you guys a little bit more background on me. I moved to Atlanta about 3 months ago to kind of pursue my filmmaking career, and it's worked out pretty well. I've gotten a lot of PA jobs. I got to write my own film, my own short film about for the 48-hour film festival called Lost and Found, directed by J.D. Harville. It was a really fun experience. It was nice to design a movie and make a movie within 48 hours. It was very taxing, but also very fun because it's 48 hours of what you love. And that was one of the greatest experiences I could have ever had, coming, being really green to the Atlanta scene, and just being able to do that. So I was really grateful of JD, the director, our director, of letting me come on, because I've met a lot of great people during that 48 hours. So it was fantastic. So yeah, I'm a filmmaker on the side, and also, as you've seen, if you're subscribed to me, if you've seen, I review movies or trailers, and I thought about doing this podcast really to talk about stuff that, I can't we don't really talk about on the Cinema Squad podcast, or things that I don't really get around to talking about in my videos, or even spoiler reviews. If you've noticed, I don't really do spoiler videos, so I thought that I could use this podcast as a venture to, also talk spoilers about certain films or TV shows that I'm interested in, and also this is pretty much, certain news items that interest me mostly, because I can say for myself that I do have a very vast range of what I love with film. I can pretty much watch just about anything as long as, good story, good character development. I can pretty much watch about anything. I like indie films, but I also like, giant superhero films, or, things are being destroyed. The streets are being evacuated, and then there's heroes in the streets. But I also like quieter stuff, like Hell or High Water, where it's just, it's just two brothers. They're trying to, save their farm, or even Swiss Army Man, just films like that, or The Neon Demon. So, this is also a podcast to talk about, more of those things, and more of the smaller news items, or even the bigger news items that interest me more. And hopefully it interests you guys as well. So we're going to get into it. I have a few news items I want to talk about, but first I want to hit you guys with, I got to go to New York Comic Con this weekend. This last weekend, New York Comic Con was my first convention ever. I've always wanted to pretty much go big or go home, and I've gone home a lot. I've tried going to San Diego Comic Con. I forgot Dragon Con was happening this weekend. I mean, not this weekend, about a month ago. So that's the reason I didn't really hit Dragon Con, was because I was in Atlanta. And, but I've always wanted to just do either San Diego or New York Comic Con as my first Comic Con. And as I said, did not get into San Diego, but Comic Con got the chance to go. I got my Friday and Saturday tickets, and then the Thursday tickets were also open for a really long time. I got those a week before they sold out. They sold out a day before the actual con. And I got in, and I was really excited because of course this is my first con. They show really cool things there, and I got in to New York Comic Con, and it was just great. It was a fantastic. It's nerd mecca. Like, that's how people describe the San Diego Comic Con, but I'll describe that as the New York Comic Con as well. It's heaven. Like, you look around and like everything you could ever love is on that show floor. The main show floor, everything you could ever love is on that show floor, and it is just incredible the amount of stuff you see. There's DC stuff, there's Marvel stuff, there's Dark Horse stuff, there's Image stuff. I mean, it's just everywhere. It's just utterly fantastic. And tour the show floor gets really full, and you feel like Jon Snow in the Battle of the Bastards, and you're just like, oh my god, and I'm surrounded. Ah! So yeah, if you're claustrophobic, I probably want to recommend. If you could take it. If you could take it, because it's not like a sardine dish, but it does get pretty full in certain places, especially like, say, the Marvel booth. It gets really full over there. Sometimes, because, they bring out stars. They brought out Stan Lee. I got to see Stan Lee in person. That was incredible. It's still, overall, New York Comic Con, or just a Comic Con in general, I would definitely recommend it. New York Comic Con in general, I would definitely recommend it, because I think it's a nice test, because I can't really imagine San Diego, how full that would be. But, it's a nice testing ground. It's a nice thing to get your feet wet with conventions, because that's one of the biggest ones. And you do get to see a lot of cool stuff. You get to get all these really cool posters. I finally got the Wonder Woman poster. I got the Iron Fist poster. I got to meet Mark Ellis and John Schnepp from Schmoes Know. I got to meet them. That was incredible. I got to see some stuff from Valerian. It was just, it's a nice atmosphere, and all the people you run into are very friendly. You get to meet people who have very similar interests to you. You get to spark up a lot of good conversation. So yeah, I would definitely, New York Comic Con was incredible. It was great. I had a little bit of withdrawal when I didn't go Sunday, but I got to meet, got to meet this cool guy I hung out with as well. So yeah, it was great. I got to see Mark Ellis do stand-up for the first time, and that was the first time I saw stand-up, and that was incredible as well. So yeah, I would definitely recommend New York Comic Con. And I also want to talk about some of the stuff I saw there, because some of the stuff I saw there was pretty cool. First and foremost, I want to talk about the DC Rebirth panel. I got to go to the DC Rebirth panel. They didn't reveal as much as I wanted them to about Rebirth, because personally, I'm going to talk about this later also, as well. I'm loving DC Rebirth so far. I think DC Rebirth is one of the best things that has ever happened, not only to DC, but to comic books in general. But the panel, they didn't reveal as much as I wanted them to. I thought they were going to go over more of there is a crossover coming. We all know that there is a crossover coming with the Watchmen characters and how Dr. Manhattan is playing this game with the DC universe. There is a crossover coming. They didn't really touch on that. They did touch on some of the things that are upcoming with Flash. They did with Godspeed and Flash. Some of the things with Green Arrow. It was just nice hearing, especially Greg Rucka. It was nice hearing these creators and these writers talk about how much they love and appreciate these characters, and bringing these characters back to the basics of what we loved. Greg Rucka said something amazing on stage, and it's just like, these characters have worked for 75 years. Some of these characters have worked for 75 years. Wonder Woman, Batman, Superman, and whenever these characters start to fail or they don't sell as much, everyone wants to, look to what's wrong and let's drastically change a character or something like that. And Greg Rucka was just like, no, these characters have lasted for 75 years. Let's stop looking at what's wrong and let's start looking at why have these characters been around so long. And I think that's one of the things that DC Rebirth has done fantastically is they're focusing on what makes these characters work, what makes them tick, and how can we make that work in a modern context. So I that's one thing I did like about that panel, just seeing them talk about their characters. And I got to go to a few other panels. The DC, I got to see Your Movie Sucks, which is chaotic. It's pretty much just a bunch of people arguing about movies in front of accomplished critics. So that was great as well. Got to go to the Collider Heroes panel. It was great hearing them talk about comic books and some of the current news. Plus, I got to go to the Voltron panel, the Netflix Voltron panel, and they actually showed the second episode of the second season. And just to let you guys know, I absolutely loved Voltron season 1. Netflix, the Voltron Legendary Defender. I had no nostalgia for the original Voltron. Because I didn't really grow up with it. I was more of the Power Rangers generation, so I never really grew up with Voltron. And I'm not gonna lie, I always thought it was kind of stupid. Power Rangers, sure, but Voltron, I don't know. It's just like a bunch of cats and people in cat suits, and it just it never really interests me, But yeah, I finally got around to the Netflix show, mostly because, the guys who worked on Avatar The Last Airbender and Korra and Justice League Unlimited, all those guys are working on this show, on Voltron Legendary Defender. So as soon as I heard that, I was just like, I am binging this shit right now, because those names, Lauren Montgomery, damn it, what's his name? Joaquin DeSanto, and Tim Hickens, those names equal quality. So of course this is going to be good, and it was great. The entire season 1, the first about 10 episodes were amazing. They were great, and I was really excited to see season 2, and I'm very happy that they brought it to New York Comic Con. We got to learn a lot. The episode we saw was called The Depths, and it was a very fun episode. It took place. It had Lance and Hunk. They were on this underwater planet, and it was really cool to see that. The animation was beautiful. Of course, the action was good as well. It had a lot of comedic beats, very much slapstick this entire episode, and had some really good laughs. It was nice to see these characters, and we also got to see Lance step up in a leadership role, which was pretty interesting, because he's always usually the silly guy, but he did stand up as a leader between Hunk and Hunk. Of course, he had great moments as well. But it's just Lance kind of stood up and took the lead. And his lion, we got to find out more about his lion, that his lion works pretty well underwater. So there's definitely some elements. They're all connected with the elements. Each lion, and we got to learn more about what Pidge is going through on her journey. She's stuck in space somewhere, and she's kind of losing her mind a little bit, because she's stuck in isolation. So we got to see that, and we didn't really learn that much about Chiro or Keith, about where they ended up and where they're going. Hopefully they're okay, because they kept, I don't know, that trailer that got leaked, I feel like Chiro might die. I don't know. And they keep on hinting at maybe that Keith is going to take over for the Black Lion. I kind of got those vibes from season 1, that Keith is going to eventually take over in the leadership role. And they also said at the season finale of season 1 that Chiro's connection with his lion is weak. He has a weak connection with it. So I wonder how that's going to play out. But overall, yeah, the Voltron panel was great, because it was nice to not only watch it with all of these hundreds of people, but also hear that theme song. I love the opening theme of Voltron, but to hear that theme song blaring from these giant speakers was incredible, and it was a nice way to just suck you in. So that panel was great. And then the next day, I got to go to the John Wick and Power Rangers panel. I also got to see some footage from the Great Wall, but I'm not really that impressed by it. I'm pretty sure the movie's going to be good, but the trailers suck. But anyway, Power Rangers and John Wick. I got to see some footage from both of those. You guys have seen the footage from Power Rangers. They showed us the same trailer. The only new details they kind of revealed is that Gorda, the gold blue lion from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers is going to be in the movie, and also that the Yellow Ranger has a saber-toothed tiger, and the Pink Ranger has a pterodactyl of some sort. So, and also you got the vibe from the filmmakers that the movie's still very much a work in progress, and that also I noticed that from the trailer. I liked the Power Rangers trailer. I really liked the Power Rangers trailer. I know a lot of people didn't. Some of my fellow Cinema Squad writers and members, some of them did not like the trailer, but I very much enjoyed the trailer. I thought it was a nice. That was a nice modernization of the Power Rangers, and I like the music behind it. I like the witty lines. I like seeing all of them together, and I like that they're. It seems that they're not starting out as like, oh, I don't like you and I don't like you. It seems like that Jason's standing up for Billy. Yeah, Jason's standing up for Billy. R.J. Seiler's character. Right away, they're all in the same boat. They're all kind of being bullied. And they all kind of find, they all kind of find that themselves, not themselves. They all find each other in this detention area. So I really do like that. But the trailer, the reason that I don't love the trailer is it just seems a little undone. Like it just seems like it's just not. I know there's progress to be made with the movie, but there's just certain shots where it's like, I feel like this shouldn't have been the first taste to the public, because it is getting good reception, but I just feel like you could have made more of a bang if some of the effects were a little bit more finished up. Maybe if we even got to see a little bit more shots of the actual Rangers. I know this was a teaser trailer, but this is a pretty long teaser trailer. Yeah, I mean, overall, I'm still very excited for Power Rangers. The direction they're taking it in, the cast, the posters, the marketing, every single piece of marketing has excited me. And this trailer does, put my excitement in the right direction. I'm still looking forward to it. It hasn't diminished my excitement whatsoever. I just wish, maybe they gave us a little bit more of a trailer with a punch. But overall, I'm still excited for it. And also, I got to see the John Wick teaser, and that trailer I loved. I love that trailer. John Wick, I love John Wick. It was a movie that, that I think a lot of us were sleeping on when the first trailer premiered, because we were just like, whatever, it's just kind of Reeves, he has a weird beard and he's shooting people. Okay, whatever. And then we all saw it, and we were all blown away. All of us were just completely blown away by this incredible film. And the idea of a John Wick 2, the idea of a sequel does scare me a little bit, but it is coming. And from what we've seen, it's more of the same, but they are expanding upon what worked and expanding upon the mythology of it all. And because John Wick had great mythology with the Continental, with the assassins, how the Continental worked. There's rules to this world, and the rules in that world were broken in the first one, but we also got to see the consequences of what happens when you break those rules. So it was a fantastic world to play around in, and it looks like it's still a fantastic world to go back to. John's being sucked back in. They revealed at New York Comic Con that this movie only takes place about 4 days after the original, so John is immediately sucked back into this assassin's world. So there ain't no rush for the wicked with John Wick. The footage is very enticing. They're still using the Steadicam of how they shoot their action. And, it's still very choreographed. You got the dome shots. You got headshots. Everyone's pulling their pistols out extremely quickly. I'm loving everything I'm seeing from John Wick. It's very exciting. I really hope this lives up to the first one. I don't want this to be one of those sequels that, they rushed to make this. I'm not saying they rushed it, but they went out and made this one, and it just doesn't live up to the first one. Because when a sequel sucks, like Independence Day Resurgence, I ended up liking that movie. It was everything I expected it to be, and whatever. It was stupid and loud and dumb. That's what I expected Independence Day Resurgence to be. But a lot of people hated that movie, and it tainted their views of the first movie. And the same thing with The Matrix as well, another movie that Keanu Reeves starred in. You have this fantastic first film, and then the second ones are kind of meandering. So hopefully John Wick 2 does live up to the hype. Everything we've seen from it looks like it's going to follow that path. But I really hope that this movie is good, and it does stand on its own 2 feet. Last but not least, from New York Comic Con, we had the Iron Fist panel, which saved my day for New York Comic Con because I got to New York Comic Con, back to New York Comic Con on that Saturday a little late. I was walking around with somebody I met, and I was back to the show floor, and I thought the show floor was going to be open after the Iron Fist panel, and it closed that day, and I was just like, shit, this is my last day, and I wanted to go back on the show floor because they were selling these comic books at a really cheap price. There was great comic books. I got Kingdom Come for like $6, the entire graphic novel, and I got a couple of All-Star Batmans. The recent All-Star Batman run. Plus, I got Ultimates 2. I mean, there were so many great choices, and I wanted to go back. I wanted to go back and get some comic books. I mean, I don't regret walking around with that person at all. It was fun. It was great. We had a great conversation, but I wanted to go back to the show floor. But we got into the Iron Fist panel. We got into the Iron Fist panel, me and my friend Jay, and we sat down, and immediately they said they put down this countdown clock. You see this weird smoke coming out of the countdown, and then they play this reel, which you can look up online. It's on YouTube. It's pretty much the reel. I think they showed it at last New York Comic Con last year, possibly. No, they showed it after what they did. I think they showed it after Daredevil season 2, and it was pretty much all of the heroes. Well, shit. Okay, never mind. Sorry. They showed it after Jessica Jones. Sometime after Jessica Jones, they had this reel. And it was pretty much Jessica Jones. You know what, guys? I'm sorry. It was not after Jessica Jones. Look, it was sometime this year, they premiered a video reel of Luke Cage, Daredevil, and Jessica Jones. And it was just this reel of all of their shows. And all their shows, and it was really neatly put together. The music they have over it is great. The Punisher pops up at the end, and then they changed it up a little bit for this Comic-Con, for New York Comic-Con 16, in which they put new footage of Iron Fist behind it, and we all just lost our shit because this was new footage, we hadn't seen it before. And then Jeff Loeb came out, and Jeff Loeb, he runs a television division over at Marvel, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Daredevil, etc. He runs that over there. I have a very mixed relationship with Jeff Loeb because I feel like he kind of destroyed the Marvel. He kind of destroyed the Ultimate Universe, the Ultimate Marvel Universe with Ultimum. I don't know, like with Ultimates 3 and Ultimum, he created this really dark and depressing version of the Ultimate Universe, and it never really recovered after that. Like the Ultimate Universe it had its moments, but after Ultimum, it kind of died. It was done. It was dead. But Jeff Loeb, I've kind of had problems with Jeff Loeb since then, but Jeff Loeb, I gotta say, is a hell of a moderator. I mean, this guy is a super entertaining moderator. He knows what to give the fans. He knows how to make the jokes. His jokes land. I mean, he's utterly fantastic as a moderator. And we got to see Diamondback came up to stage. The actor who plays Diamondback, he got to come up to the stage and talk to us for a little bit. And then he brought up the cast of Iron Fist. And the cool thing about the Iron Fist segment of this, because this was way more than just an Iron Fist panel. The cool thing about the Iron Fist segment is that they showed a clip for nearly every single character. Except for Claire. Every single character pretty much got an intro clip or some type of clip where they get to show off their character. You got to see stuff from Colleen Wing. Colleen Wing, as we got to see her in the cage fighting this dude. You get to see a little bit of that in the trailer that they released afterward, but we got to see a much more extended look at it. We got to see the hallway fight of Iron Fist. Iron Fist, of course, has a hallway fight, and that was pretty cool. It's undone. They let us know that it's not finished. These scenes weren't finished. They were wet, as Jeff Loeb called them. But still, I mean, the effect was there. You could tell that the audience was still very satisfied by all of their thunderous applause. And it was just cool to see, Danny Rand finally go to work. Because what I will say about Danny Rand's fighting style is he's faster than Daredevil, faster and a little bit more nimble than Daredevil, but a little less violent. Like Daredevil, I think Daredevil will beat the shit out of you, but Iron Fist will just, he'll get you out of your way. He'll put you down, but not. He'll just put you down. He'll move you out of the way. With Daredevil, he will, beat the ever living crap out of you. So that was one of the cool things to see about Iron Fist and how he harnessed his chi. And of course, when we finally got to see the Iron Fist, we didn't get to see it in action in any of the scenes they showed us. But, we got to see the trailer, as you guys saw, and I love the look of the Iron Fist. I like how it's yellow. My friend Jay brought up that, it looks like, like burning, like when you're melting steel, or when you're molding steel, that's what it kind of looks like when his hand lights up. And I really like that. Plus, we got to learn a very crucial detail about Iron Fist, which if you guys consider this as a spoiler, just skip ahead a little bit. This is not a spoiler in my eyes. This is just a new nugget of information. But we got to learn that Iron Fist is the key to destroying the hand. Iron Fist, it was revealed that Iron Fist, is the key to taking down the hand. And he's under Madame Gao's. He works for Madame Gao, which Madame Gao is from Daredevil and Daredevil Season 2. So that kind of brings an entirely new element to it, because Madame Gao isn't really a bad guy in an odd way. So that introduces a new element, because she's trying to take down the hand. And Iron Fist was, created to take down the hand. And that also brings a new element for Daredevil, because, how are Daredevil and Danny going to interact? Because, Danny has the power to do all of these things, to completely eradicate the hand. That is his destiny. That is his drive. And are the hand going to be involved in Iron Fist? So it introduces so many. It's a lot of things to speculate on, but it's just so many areas that the show can go in. And it also provides the sense of why Iron Fist would be involved in the Defenders. Because Iron Fist has this power and this drive and this destiny to take down and eradicate the hand. So that was really fun to find out. But the best thing, the piece de resistance of the panel was the Defenders reveal. And with Jeff Lowe brought everyone out. What happened is Finn Jones, you could probably find the video on YouTube. Finn Jones runs out and he's just like, I have a few friends I want to bring on the stage. And we all knew what was happening. We all knew. And Jeff Lowe was just like, okay, we're going to need some theme music to bring these friends out. And he started playing the, Come As You Are, the Nirvana song. And we all lost it. We all jumped out of our seat. And we started, a lot of people started chanting, holy shit, holy shit, holy shit. It was fantastic. And then the Defenders, and then on top of all that, we got the reveal of the villain, which was Sigourney Weaver, and we lost it again. And it was just like, I've always wanted to be in that crowd. Like you see the YouTube videos of of the Batman v Superman Comic-Con crowd, or you hear you can go back and look up the Iron Man Comic-Con footage, or you look up the sound bites from Age of Ultron when they premiered that footage. I've always wanted to be in that crowd where you're just like, you're surrounded by this congregation of geeks, and you're just all losing your mind. And I'm really happy I finally got that moment just to lose my shit over some of the coolest stuff, some of the coolest footage and information that was dropped during the Iron Fist panel. I mean, that was a great way to finish off New York Comic Con. Because, it was great just being around everybody, you're screaming like idiots over some just really cool information that dropped. So, yeah, that was a great panel. The Iron Fist panel was my favorite by far, just because of what they showed us and what they revealed, and also just the atmosphere. The atmosphere was incredible to be in. Now, moving away from New York Comic Con, I wanted to talk about about two more new news beats that came out over the last few days. One is Rogue One. Rogue One actually premiered. The trailer for Rogue One, the latest final trailer for Rogue One, premiered earlier this morning, and I got to check it out, and I loved it. I really liked it. I did a trailer review and reaction that you could find on my channel, and I really liked it. I very much liked. I have been a believer of Rogue One from the beginning. I mean, the anthology film scared me at first, but the more I thought about it, the more, these are the movies that give us the chance to go anywhere and do anything in the Star Wars universe. You can tell any type of story. It can be dark, it can be light. You can just go off the cuff a little bit and just do whatever. And that's what I feel like Rogue One is. I feel like Rogue One is doing that. It's telling. I've always wanted to see a movie without Jedi. I love Jedi, but I wanted to see a movie just about the people, about normal people. No, they're not superpowered or anything. They're just normal people. And that's one of the things I like about Rogue One. It's boots on the ground. God's not coming to save them. It's just, and it's war. These films are called Star Wars, and this is war. And you're seeing that. You're getting a Saving Private Ryan vibe from it. You're seeing all these people just thrown into this extraordinary situation that they have to succeed. And we know they do succeed because, episode 4. But they have to go to the limit to succeed and get these plans so that they can turn the tide on this war that they are desperately, and I'm guessing, I'm not sure, I'm guessing that they are losing at this point. And if the Death Star becomes operational, then they're done. And I love that this trailer, it doesn't give that much away, but it does absolutely paint a picture. It does paint the picture of our story. We do know that Jyn Erso's father is involved, is the creator of the Death Star. We know that their mission is either retrieving the plans or retrieving her father, and stopping this thing from finding the weakness of the Death Star, so they can destroy it. So it's nice to have the story already there. Unlike The Force Awakens, where we were kind of guessing and assuming of where this was going to go, but this trailer gave us our story, and we still have things that we need to pick up upon when we actually get to the film. And I like that this film also, and I have to praise Disney and Lucasfilm for The Force Awakens and Rogue One so far. I like how diverse these films are. The cast of these films are extremely diverse. You're seeing everyone from every quadrant, and I love that. I love how you're seeing the reflection of your world in the Star Wars world, and I absolutely love that. Everyone has someone that they can look to and identify with, and I love that. The action in the film looks spectacular. It looks unlike any Star Wars film that we've seen so far, which is a huge plus. The cinematographer is amazing. I'm forgetting his name at the moment, but everything he is bringing to this film is spectacular. Every shot. If this movie ends up sucking, I will still walk away and say, man, the cinematography was great. I mean, the scale of all these things, you feel like you're on a different planet. You feel like these AT-CTs are stumping through the forest and you're there. And this is just from a trailer, and I'm loving every single shot. And I really hope that Gareth Edwards can deliver, and I'm sure he will deliver. I liked Monsters. I liked the beginning and the ending of Godzilla. The middle was kind of not all there. I just wish Godzilla had some more interesting human characters like Monsters. And Rogue One, I would believe, because Star Wars is filled with interesting characters, I would believe that Star Wars has that Rogue One will have a interesting character, so that might boost Gareth's direction and delivering onto the stories. But yeah, I mean, I really hope this movie succeeds, because another thing, this is the first gamble. This is a huge gamble for Disney, because there hasn't been a Star Wars story. There hasn't been a Star Wars spinoff. This is the first of its kind, and I really hope that this movie succeeds, because I want more movies like this where we have Darth Vader, we have the Death Star, we have certain things that we can identify with, but other than that, these are brand new characters. We haven't met these characters yet, and I want more movies, more Star Wars movies like this, where they don't have to rely on, say, a Han Solo or a Yoda or an Obi-Wan to carry the story. They can just say, hey, here's a like a new Star Wars comic book was announced the other day called Dr. Alpha, and it's about this doctor. I would like to see a Star Wars a Star Wars story on her. There's some newer characters or lost stars. I'm still reading that book. I'm still trying to get through it, but it's good so far. But a Star Wars story, Lost Stars, a Star Wars story, something that's a little bit more off the cuff, or go back to the prequel era. There's more stuff like that where they don't have to rely on Han Solo or Yoda, which I think if this movie succeeds, they wouldn't have to go that route. But if this movie fails, and hopefully it won't, and if it's received well, or if it isn't received well, they're probably going to go back to known characters or just scrap the Star Wars stories in general, which I hope they don't. But moving on to one last story, and then this is a TV story. I wanted to talk about The Flash. The Flash just premiered. It just premiered its season 3. It premiered about last week. I know season 2 is out at this point already, but I wanted to talk about season 1 and not season 1, episode 1, and man, I fucking love that episode. Flash season 1, I loved. Flash season 2, I didn't love as much. I kind of, with the zoom and everything, I kind of really disliked it. But Flash season 3 brought it all back for me. It had those emotional scenes from season 1. It had probably one of the best action sequences at the toward the end that I have seen, and it also had Kid Flash. I mean, I did not like Wally in season 2 at all, but this actor delivers completely as Kid Flash, and he kills it as Kid Flash. He was funny, he was quick, he had lots of charisma against Barry, and I absolutely loved him. Loved him in the Kid Flash role. He had a lot to do, which hopefully he still has a lot to do in the coming episodes. I haven't seen season 2 yet. I mean, not season 2, episode 2 yet. I've been kind of busy, but I haven't seen episode 2 yet. But I'm really excited for The Flash so far. The Flash absolutely delivered with the premiere of season 3. So I really hope that they can keep up the quality and give us something different, because I like what they did with Flashpoint in this season premiere. It wasn't everything we expected, but this is also an adaptation. It's sort of what they did with Days of Future Past with X-Men. It's Days of Future Past in name, but it's the movie version of Days of Future Past, and this is the TV version of Flashpoint. So I can respect that of what they're doing with it, and they still honored it. So guys, with all that being said, I'm gonna wrap it up here. This was once again the Darren Leslie podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I enjoyed recording it. This was kind of something different, just talking about a bunch of different topics. If you guys like this, please let me know, either through a thumbs up or in the comment section. If you want to see more of this, please be very vocal, be critical. And if you want to see more of this, what else do you want to see? Are there any topics you would like to see me talk about on this podcast? Please let me know in the comment sections below. Also, check out my channel, of course, the Darren Leslie Jr.'s reviews. I do reviews on trailers, trailer reviews and reactions on all sorts of trailers, and also do movie reviews. I will be posting in the next coming month. Actually, I will be posting a few short films of mine that you guys can view and critique, and if you would like. And also check out Cinema Squad, cinemasquad.com, and also our YouTube channel, Cinema Squad. We're doing TV recaps on all of the DC shows, Flash, Arrow, Supergirl, and Legends of Tomorrow. So you can head over and check those out. And also head over to our website where we do articles. We do movie reviews, articles on the latest news beats. And we also have an editorial series going on right now called 31 Fears by Miller Farrow. He's covering each day of October. He's covering a different horror film. And he's reviewing it and going over it. And it's really enjoyable so far. So please go over and check that out. And last but not least, of course, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you like hearing me talk about movies, please hit that subscribe button. Come join the conversation. I'll be glad to have you. And with all that being said, I'm Darren Leslie Jr. I hope you enjoyed this podcast. I should be posting another one either this week or the next week. I'm going to probably do these every week, maybe make it a weekly thing. And yeah, with all that being said, I'm Darren Leslie Jr. I hope you enjoyed this podcast, and I'll catch you guys next time.